Hello everyone and welcome to Watch Mojo. I'm just kidding, it's your boy Slayercoon here. The OG PlayStation is one of my favorite video game consoles of all time. I grew up with it back during the PS2 era, and yeah, I got bullied a lot for being stuck with this gray hunk of gaming history. Honestly, the PS1 is a console I speak of way too much in my reviews, so I thought I would count down what I believe are the top 5 best games for the OG PlayStation. Why not 10, you may ask? Well, sorting out the bottom half of a top 10 list would prove very difficult considering how many classics there are for this system. Keep in mind this is my personal opinion, so if a favorite of yours is missing from this list, feel free to leave your own top 5 best PS1 games list in the comments below. Before I get into this list, I'd like to give some honorable mentions, games that probably could have made it into the bottom half of a theoretical top 10 list. Final Fantasy VII, a game that edgy contrarians love to bash as being overrated. Since I've never played this game before, I wouldn't know if it lives up to that name, but nonetheless it is a very important game in the PS1's library, and does to some degree deserve its fame. Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. Often considered the best in the Spyro trilogy, Ripto's Rage is my least favorite in the OG Spyro trilogy. Now don't get me wrong, it's definitely a major improvement over the somewhat childish and simple Spyro 1, and is overall a fantastic game, but I feel as if though there are plenty of problems in this game that never get addressed. I felt as if though some of the levels are kind of a mixed bag design-wise, and the backtracking in this game is easily the worst in the entire trilogy. Ripto's Rage is still an amazing game, but it has some major flaws that prevent it from making this list. Crash Bandicoot Warped. The Crash Bandicoot series was a major selling point for the PlayStation, a simple but effective series of platformers that are now legendary. Warped is often considered the best of the Crash trilogy, and I will agree that it is a masterpiece of platforming action, but it doesn't make the list because it does unfortunately lack that certain thing I'm looking for in a platforming game. Gran Turismo 1. Released throughout 1997 and 1998, Gran Turismo was a groundbreaking title that helped popularize the simulation racing genre. With over 150 cars and a dozen tracks, this game had way more to offer than most PS1 games at the time. You could waste weeks of your life collecting a garage full of cars and upgrading them to your heart's desire. The reason it doesn't make the official list is kind of a spoiler. Haha, spoiler. Get it? Like a spoiler on the back of a car? Oh man, I'm just so hilarious. Needless to say, Gran Turismo 1 is a highly important part of gaming history. With that out of the way, it's time we get into the official list. The best games the PlayStation has to offer. Games that are without a doubt, classics. As always, I'm basing this off of my own personal opinion, so games that I've never played before will not be making this list. Number 5. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is the most recent game I've played on this list, since I've never experienced it before until 2018, and man did this game blow me away. Sticking to 2D pixel aesthetics in the era of early 3D, Symphony of the Night is one of the few PS1 games that holds up from a graphical standpoint. It was an innovative title that helped popularize Metroidvania, and is overall a grand experience from beginning to end. It also has one of the best soundtracks on the PlayStation, with an orgasmic mix of gothic, symphonic, and even heavy metal sounds. This game blew me away with how amazing it is. It almost feels like a 1980s heavy metal album in video game form. Symphony of the Night is simply an amazing work of art that transcends the world of Castlevania. I'm not even a Castlevania fan and I love this game, and that to me says a lot. Number 4. Crash Team Racing. CTR is not only the best kart racer on the OG PlayStation, but is easily one of the best kart racers of all time. Some have even gone as far to claim it's better than any of the Mario Kart games. Remember when I said this?
I had a lot of fun with this game as a kid, and honestly, I'd love to see a remaster of this as DLC for the Insane Trilogy.
Well, it turns out we're getting a remaster of this amazing kart racer later this year, just a day before my 21st birthday nonetheless. CTR's big selling point is its adventure mode, with an actual story and a kart racing game. The track selection is a masterpiece. I can't think of a single bad course in this game. It's that good. I have a lot of good memories with this game, and I can't wait to see it again in beautiful HD glory. Number 3. Metal Gear Solid. Easily the most revolutionary game on this list, and possibly of the entire PS1 library. It not only helped popularize the stealth genre, but also made cinematic storytelling an essential part of video games. I never actually made it past the first level as a kid, but even then all I could think about was how much of a badass Solid Snake was. Heavy emphasis on the ass. Very few games before Metal Gear Solid were so deep when it came to storytelling. It's also pretty detailed for a 1998 PS1 game. This is my first time properly playing this, so I was kinda stunned to see rather detailed rats in the vents. Overall, this title deserves its legendary status, and at least from a story standpoint, is the best game on the PS1. But we've still got 2 more games to go. Number 2. Gran Turismo 2. Whenever I see a top 10 best PS1 games list that doesn't include Gran Turismo 2, I get pissed. And can you really blame me? Gran Turismo 2 is one of the best video games ever made. With over 600 cars and nearly 30 tracks, this game has more content to offer than many games from the PS2 era. The driving controls are timeless, and collecting a garage full of cars is more fun than ever. This game is so fucking awesome that the menus are a work of art. I've played this game quite possibly more than any other. It simply never gets boring, and going back to this game is always a grand experience. Gran Turismo 2 is simply the closest a racing game has come to pure perfection, and is a masterpiece in almost every aspect. So with that said, why does GT2 only take the number 2 spot? Well, for the first time ever, I actually got bored of it. I've played this game for years and never got tired of it, but since I've basically explored every aspect of it, I've come to realize why some people don't enjoy realistic racers, as it is a game that takes itself pretty seriously. Plus, there's another childhood game of mine that I revisit a lot, one that is more than just a game to me, but an out-of-this-world experience like no other. Number 1. Spyro: Year of the Dragon. I someday plan to fully review this masterpiece in its remastered form, but I still think the greatest hits version of Year of the Dragon is not only the best PS1 game of all time, but one of the best games ever made, period. Building on the already great formula from Spyro 1 and 2, Year of the Dragon takes Spyro's fantastic gameplay to a whole new level, featuring brand new playable characters and what is easily Stuart Copeland's best soundtrack. Every level in this game is polished to a mirror's sheen, with beautiful dreamy skyboxes and visuals that push the PS1 to its limit. The collectathon gameplay is both satisfying and rewarding, and completing this game 117% is more than worth the effort. Spyro 3 is without a doubt the magnum opus of both the PlayStation and the entire Spyro series. Well, that concludes the list. 5 games for this classic system that all hold a special place in my heart. As always, feel free to leave your own personal top 5 PS1 games in the comments below. As for me, well, I've got to do another 100% completion run on Spyro 3. Seriously, I've 100% completed this game nearly 7 times in my life. It used to take me months as a kid to reach the final boss battle, yet now I can reach 117% completion in less than 10 hours. Oh, how things have changed.